Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. Before I start, just a quick introduction for anybody who's new to me or my videos or my community. These trade recaps and teachings are from the trades I take or the trades I don't take, but traders in my community are taking. Any trade I share on Twitter, any trade idea I share with you guys on YouTube and previous recaps. We do not play random, we play fixed system, fixed setups for our trades, investments, long term, short term. Everything is a fixed trading strategy and trading system. That's what we that's how we work. If we lose money, we review why we lost money, we keep our losers small, and if we won money, we review what was the setup that we traded, why was that setup we traded, and how did it go. Every morning before the market opens, few hours before the market opens, my team is up early. We go through all the news sources, up gappers, down gappers, upgrades, downgrades, any macro news, any other geopolitical news, and we create what we call as a game plan. Today's game plan is right in front of you. We had Coin, Intel, WSM, Amazon, SMCI, Tesla, Oracle, among others on our game plan today. We'll discuss these plays in detail, how they panned out. Then we also have what we call as our levels. These levels we create in the pre-market for the plays that are market dependent, like Spy, QQQ, IWM, Apple, Microsoft, and these plays, the big sevens that move the market. We play them every day, either through stock or options. We play those every day, and these levels help the traders to trade them based upon a bullish or bearish pivot based upon these levels and EMA Clouds System that I teach. Additionally, we also have what we call as our day 2, day 3 setups. These are the plays that we play. So these are the plays that we that had news or had momentum a day before yesterday or 2 days, 3 days before. I call them as my day 2, day 3 setups. Today's day 2, day 3 setups list is right here. The ones I focus in red are the highlighted ones, which I would like to focus more as a day 2, day 3 setups. We will talk about them, how Oracle short was good today, ONON long and Snow long, how our day 2, these day 2 trades were winning setups today. We will go through them in detail. All right, so that's you will see every day I go on voice few at the market open and before market open, and I'm on voice for first 2-3 hours, and all day I'm updating my community just as I updated Twitter on the market updates. But my full focus is on my community, and I'm on voice, and I'm also all day posting on the floor, trading floor, where hundreds of traders are trading all day, and then alerts tab where I post my guidance. We are not an alerts or signal service. I share my guidance, what I am doing, and I'm not on the financial advice, but showing how what I'm doing, which for example we'll talk about the plays and you will find out how we do it in the community. All right guys, let's start with the first play. The first play, guys, we're going to talk about is NVDA. So what was the play on NVDA? Let's look at it. Before we start about it, let's go back to our news play and see what was going on with NVDA. NVDA was on our news play game plan. Today the PT Bank of America raised the profit target to 1100 from 925. I had a neutral bias, a typo there, but I had a neutral bias on NVDA this morning, but we were ready for it based upon what it shows us in the morning, right? Again, if you want to see the levels, I gave those levels there, news play as well, but I always also have the levels here. Support pivots 904, 897, those were our two support pivots this morning. You could see it here and here, but as soon as the market opened, let me go to the smaller time frame so I can show you and what was happening. So as soon as the market opened, I was watching NVIDIA closely. Does it break the pivot or not? As soon as the market opens, I see the weakness at 931. I say shorted. You can see short scalps right at 1 minute after the market open. I say that shorted, and then once 900 breaks, I double size it. I go to double size on NVIDIA short, and as you see, even after 900 breaks down, we hit 884. So from the point of NVIDIA breaking down from 906, 904s, we almost got $20. And as you can see, my NVIDIA put right here went 100%, 90, 100% almost. So that was our morning trade. So the reason being that the short for NVIDIA was because it was breaking the pivot. Spy QQQ, which we'll have discussed in the next one, was weak. So we were short both, right? Based upon the levels based upon the levels. You can watch the news play levels, or you can watch the daily levels, whatever your levels are. So my focus was NVIDIA, QQQ. So I was short on NVIDIA. I want to show you the complete morning trading floor idea, what we were doing in the morning. So let me show you that quickly here. So as you see, guys, as soon as the market opened, I say short scalp NVIDIA QQQ, and then I talk about on the voice that I'm in 870 puts. They started to work. They are 30% here. They go to 45%, then they go to 61%. They go to 90%. I show my community that the options I'm trading from the open till I got 100% on that. So it means that if I was, but my risk was not 100% because wherever I added that, maybe my risk on the option was 20%, right? But I got 100% based upon that, because if NVIDIA went over 910, $5-6 my risk, I would have stopped out. But with the $5 risk, there was a $20 move. If I had shorted shares today, I was shorting the options to show my community how I'm executing it there, so you could see the live guidance and how NVIDIA was. And by the time it was 10 a.m., we already made 100% trade on NVIDIA, and we were doing really good there, and we logged decent profit for great morning. And most of my guidance is on voice, so you won't see much of the things that I say on the voice. If you can join the community and see how we do that in the morning. But that was a nice morning NVIDIA short, and then we later talk about the long. In the end, I will also discuss the NVIDIA long as well. So that was the morning short winner for NVIDIA, 100%. All right, guys, next we're going to discuss the NVIDIA end of the day reversal. Let's go back, see what was that, the play on NVIDIA. That was end of day reversal on NVIDIA. Let's look here. All right, so you guys see that NVIDIA, after we shorted in the morning, it was holding this level, right? 1 2 3 4 5 all day. There was a bid here, right? So there was a buyer here that was buying it all day, but there was no confirmed uptrend. The confirmed uptrend came around 1 p.m. Let's go look at my API alerts. So you see there at 1 p.m. the alert came in that said 894 breaking, 512 EMA curling, right? So that was the alert. So my community, everybody already know the system. We have studied the system. We know what to do, right? So that was a curl, and with that, this was one of the setups I teach in my webinars. And this was you had a downtrend line, you had a base, so everything was perfect, right, to do the reversal play. And you could have a stops here under the last candle, and then we moved over to 3450. Then we flagged out a 3450, and then we broke out of 3450. I did mention the next leg. So from that reversal at 894.54, almost got 20 points there by end of the day. So that was a reversal setup. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about our short in the morning. We were short the market in the morning. If you see here, we were more short on QQQ than SPY. So there was a big move from 442.60 all the way to 439. If I show you about my QQQ, so you can see here my guidance from the morning on QQQs. Let me just go here. Right, so I was talking about that hold the puts, short scalps. You saw that 931, hold the puts, 440 was first target, 440 target met, right? So we met our 440 target from the short in the morning, the first half an hour. Beautiful trade. The puts were really 50 to 60%, and same for SPY. SPY was not that good as QQQ, but still was a decent. So you can pause it and see my guidance here, and because it was breaking under pre-market lows under the clouds, pretty straightforward system. I was on the voice guiding everybody on these two trades. So beautiful short. This helped our NVIDIA short as well. All right, next we're going to look at AMD. So let's go back and see what were our levels on AMD. So another short in the morning was AMD, right? Because SPY QQQ were weak, so they were high probability trades. Let's look at AMD. Level was 199.38. Support level was the initial level on AMD. But more than that, AMD was a 200 level, right? 200 psychological short. So this was AMD 200 psychological short. I was on the voice. I was talking about that. 192 was the target, but that's fine, right? Even if you short it at 198, 197. We went all the way to 193, right? So decent move on AMD for your shorts or for your puts. Was a nice win in the morning, AMD. So similar to AMD, we had Meta, right? So it's similar setup. What was that? So that was 500 psychological level. It was not really that clean how AMD was. It was a little choppy, but AMD was also because it was semiconductor, it was short with NVDA, so it was much better short than Meta. And even if you look at Meta at the open, if it faded, let's look at smaller time frame on Meta, right? So let's see. So Meta opening on the smaller time frame, it pushed towards the clouds, and then it faded right back, and then it faded down all the way to 470. No, this is not the right. Hold on. Let me fix it. Yeah. So it faded down to 491, and it was again a morning trade, right? So you see the resistance was this pre-market lows, and was a good scalp to a short towards 490s, right? But you can't have like bad entries, otherwise that creates a problem. So you can short it, and then it was decent scalp in the morning. But AMD was definitely better play. All right, now let's look at Tesla, right? So what was the Tesla doing today? Tesla, guys, let's go back to our news plan this morning. So what was our news plan this morning? So Tesla was downgraded to underweight by Wells Fargo, bearish to neutral to watch pops, means to watch the pops to short it. Yeah, I kind of was busy in NVIDIA, and it swiped it right at open. So I was cautious, even though if it had just swiped here, and I would have taken the short right away, but it swiped little too much for my liking over the clouds. So yes, I missed a good entry short, even though I was looking for the pops, but I was careful. But when it started to reject and could not get over 175, if you see here, if I show you this chart here, I had on AMD, I had on NVIDIA, Tesla, I had alert set at 175. You see, so I had alert set that if it gets over 175, there's a no short here, right? And no short here, and then it rejected 175, and that point it confirmed bearish to me. That's when I said to everyone, if you long, it's a B minus setup because it's under the cloud. Short is a higher probability, right? So there was no position initially, so you can watch my earlier commentary here. But when it breaks the pre-market lows, that's when it confirms the short, and the best entry was closer to 175. That's fine, but the pre-market lows was also a decent short here. What happened was, when it broke the pre-market lows, then suddenly Musk tweeted something, and it bounced, and people panicked, stopped out. I said there's no need to stop out, and we were talking about on floor that the system is doing what it's supposed to do. You guys are stopping out, that's your problem, right? So and then what happens was, it fades again, right? From that 173 level, it fades again and goes back, and I had added more puts there, and I ended up taking a 40% profit there. And then all day it was just a fade. It did try to go back over the clouds of 512, but it never could really get over 3450, right? So it was all day bearish. So I told everyone to cover into the 170 dips because my target was 170, and even Win was on it. Win said no interest, and he said he's shorting the pop. So Win was on top of it as well, and it turned 512 clouds, so it was turning here. And only reason I said, if it holds this 172 pullback, then you can long, but it needs to get over 3450 to confirm, and it failed right away. So Tesla failed right away, and then Tesla at end of the day faded to 170. And I did mention that if you want to swing puts, you can swing it, right? 170 is a big breakdown, and it did break 170 end of the day, and then Tesla is at 167.70. So hopefully the swing puts will make some money tomorrow. So next one we're going to look at is Snow, right? So Snow, what was Snow, right? So Snow was our day 2 setup. Let's go back. Let's go look here at my day 2 sheet. So Snow was one of the top one, right? Highlighted one, and the support was 161, resistance was 162.50. And I talked about Snow yesterday in community as well, because I really liked the way the daily chart was curling on Snow, and the 1 hour was turning bullish. I really liked it. Look at this 1 hour chart. So it was a 1 hour setup, and that's why I told everybody watch the pullbacks long. I even told everybody yesterday watch, and the plan was that if it closed at highs, we would swing it, right? So I mentioned it. I haven't tweeted about it. If you want to look at it, I can show you. In the morning, I gave this tweet idea to my followers as well, that about this setup. And if you want to see here, let's go and look at it a little bit here. So you can see, right? So snow was 1 hour turned bullish from 164 by the time when I posted it there, and we did hit like 167 almost, right? $3 from the morning idea. So so the point was, there was a setup, nice setup, working out. It was working out really. And of course, if you're day trading, then you take some profit off here, and then you get out over the 512s or on the 3450. Now if you're swing trading, you have to get out when it's breaking 3450, and not only that, 1 hour is breaking down, and reposition yourself next day. So that was the point. I was hoping we close over 3450, but market kind of tanked at the end of the day and spoiled our setup, because this is the daily candle I don't really like. But we still are at this support zone, so we can very well reclaim this 163 area tomorrow, and then we can add it again. But today it was not the time to swing it. So still on the swing watch. I'm gonna give it a few more days, and we're gonna trade it tomorrow again. Hopefully it does much better. But you can pause the screen, see my 167 was the target that I gave to everyone in the morning. I mentioned at 9:36. At that time it was still trading at 162, 163s, and then it was a nice trade for the community today. And hopefully remember this analysis, and we will be trading it in coming days, and hopefully we get another swing. So next one is directly from our, this one is basically what we call it as our news play, WSM. So WSM was a news play, 242, 259. I was on the voice, and I talked about the 259 is the breakout point on WSM, but it was kind of extended. So it was kind of a little extended. So there was a risk reward. It was a little problematic how to risk reward that. And I got busy in NVDA at open, so I could not guide the traders on what to do with it. But if you see, it was an A+ setup. Why? Because the daily all-time highs, no resistance up top, all-time highs, and and that's what it did. It breaks out of that 259 pivot, and it runs all day. And I did mention it that WSM is going, because I'm trying to keep eyes on everything, but but it's hard. But you can see my commentary at 10 a.m. I said nice long from our news play, and then 300 was the psychological level. It almost met that. I wish I saw it earlier, but hopefully a few of the people in the community traded it. But it's a good case study, A+ setup. If it had more consolidation in the pre-market, it would have been much easier to trade. But regardless, you can always trade lotos on these movers, as I have shown you before in previous YouTube videos. So next one we are going to look at is Intel, INTC. So INTC had a news today, so it was our news play. So Intel Pentagon abandons 1.5 billion grant. Support was 44.35, resistance pivot was 44.80. So you see that set up bearish news, and I did say that my guidance was bearish to neutral to short under the clouds, short under the clouds. So I clearly said that. So let's see what happens. It pushes at the open, so there's no trade right there at that time. But let's see what we were talking on the trading floor. Let's go back and check trading floor. So on the trading floor, when it was breaking this 512 3450s, I said it's breaking, and you can see the time. It was breaking right at 1040, 1050, and that's it. That's where you take the entry, under the clouds. And that's why I said in my pre-market notes. And then that's it. You risk out the clouds, use the system. It's a midday 3450 breakdown setup, and you trade it. And you can see everybody in the community did really good. Prakash, Chad, Quinn, all of them really did good. Quinn did really good on Intel as well, and it was a solid midday setup. I try to remind of the trades I can, so you need to keep eye on the trading floor on the alerts tab. If I'm on voice, I share on the voice, but you can clearly see so many ideas. Find a risk level, find a reward level, and trade it. So beautiful there on. Next one we're going to look at is our day 2 setup. So let's go back and repeatable day 2 setup. So day 2 setup, Oracle, ORCL, and I have highlighted it. Support pivot was from yesterday. If you remember my yesterday's video, I explained this in detail, that it was a failed it was a failed gap fill trade for us. It was a failed gap fill trade for us. And today, that was the reason it was on the watch, and today it gave us the money it took from us yesterday. All right, so those were the levels, and let's see what Oracle did, and let's see why my commentary was on Oracle. So my commentary was, it's rejecting the resistance. It's also short. Watch the pops. It's a short. Watch the pops, and that's what it did. 942. I say that, and it fades under all the supports I gave. 127, then 127, and then it, by the time it reached 124.50, the same support that it bounced from, we already had made money, right? And now we watch it again tomorrow. But the point is, today it was breaking under that pivots, and it was a good trade. From, even if you took 127, then you had $2, and it's a small range. You could have done really good on this options trade, or better yet on the stock on the shares, much better. Now we're going to look at another day two setup, and this one is also from yesterday's YouTube recap. This one is ONON. 30 was our support pivot, resistance was 31, and if you remember, we talked about it yesterday. And what was ONON doing? So ONON broke over our resistance, and most of the community members know how we trade those, right? How we trade those. So even if I didn't have much commentary on ONON, and that's the beauty of our community. We are not, alert service trying to make people millionaire. We're trying to teach people, and I see improvements every day. They're better and better traders improving, and you don't focus on making money, focus on doing successful trades, and that's how it works. But anyways, RGB was on all day, and he was long, and then it breaks. He was long, and you can see his guidance all the way from 34.50, and then all the way he showed the guidance on ONON. So you can see how RGB traded it. Very proud of RGB, very proud. And he's like one of the other hundreds of traders who work very hard on execution, right? He every day works so hard, and you can see he was on long on ONON, and I was busy with so many other trades, so I couldn't focus. But he was on trading floor talking about ONON is long, and moved solid. Chad was on it long as well, and it was a day too long. It recovered 34.50 yesterday, and from there on today, and the breakout was solid. It filled the whole gap. Now we watch it again tomorrow as well. It might not be done, because this is very explosive move, right? It's back from 26 back to 33. Big recovery, big trade. You see the bullishness here. Look here, 34.50 bullish, 34.50 day two held. Next one we're going to look at is QFIN. That's also from our news play. Let's go back and look at the QFIN. What was the plan? So QFIN had the earnings, and they also had share repurchase plan. Their support was 1670, and the resistance pivot was, I put it other way around. So it was 1640, 1670. I said 1670 is the breakout. Under 1640, avoid it. Simple plan, clean levels. I like this daily chart because daily had a breakout here as well. So you can see here. So this chart was just beautiful, right? So you can see that. So that's why I gave those levels on QFIN, and then whole day what QFIN did was, you can see my tweet, pre-market long. From the pre-market plan, 18 you should take up the first, and then 19 will be the next target. 19 target was on deck, and look here, met 19 and it faded back 70 cents. Right from my target, QFIN faded back. Beautiful trade. Love when the planning works. Right from the guidance, beautiful long, amazing. The next one we're going to talk about is that one I recapped in the video yesterday, the one we are swinging, VKTX. I clearly told yesterday in the community, I mentioned about it, that VKTX is a swing, and it's just a day two setup. You could trade it as a day two. I can show you my day two plan in the morning, and you can see right here the resistance pivot was 68.25, 66.85 was the base, and then after that VKTX was just swing long. Nothing too much to recap about it. I do want to see it over 72. I did mention 70 levels yesterday as well. We still have a lot of room. Now the should be taking some profits off, trade the 1 hour chart, and if it pulls back to 68, 69. I'm expecting it to hold here for the continuation, or we hold the pullbacks on the 1 hour chart. So the VKTX, the one that I'm going to discuss, VKTX was a swing from yesterday. We talked about it yesterday, YouTube recap, and I also told the community that we can swing VKTX. Reason being, I like the daily chart, see how the daily chart is bouncing from 2021 EMA. And I did tweet about VKTX in the morning as well, and to the followers. And even after that, VKTX kind of worked out really nicely on those on that swing. Now the plan on VKTX is trade the 1 hour chart. If it pulls back to 69, 68, if it holds that level, re-add there, or and it has to hold basically for a continued swing. And we need to get up over the 512 EMA Clouds tomorrow on VKTX, so that is very important. So nice little swing winner so far. So let's talk about DLTR. So I did not touch DLTR in the morning. It was heavy, it was a short, because the bounce, right? So it was our news play. Let's go back and see in the news play. The bearish bias to short the pops, but careful of a C minus bounce under 126.10. We have room to 125, 120. So bounce the short was fine, and it did fade from like 132 back to 127, but it did not break any one of my pivots for a confirmed short. And the bounce was okay, the bounce short was okay, and then I did try for a reversal setup end of the day, and that cover the shorts. I should fade to LOD, so I said should fade to LOD, low of the day, and did almost fade to the low of the day, not completely, but then it was trying to curl, and I watched that curl setup, and I was trying to curl it. I was just a little bit too early because there was a seller at 129, so I gave that idea on the floor, and that didn't work out. I had some 130 options, took a loss and moved on. But in I think because 129 was the level which had to be crossed, and it never really crossed. Was a C minus setup anyways, so these C minus B minus setups never work out for me. So the short was okay if you shorted the pops, otherwise there was not much on it, and the consolidation reversal did not work out. That was a loser. We'll keep on watch on day 2. If it fades under these levels, will be a short. If it gets back over 130, this 129 level, tomorrow we'll long it. So let's look at some cruise lines today. I was talking about all these cruise lines in the pre-market, just a general idea that most of these cruise lines are being upgraded by Goldman Sachs, RCL, CCL, NCLH, and you can see there was a pivot levels 132, CCL was 1650, and you see all of them mostly moved up nicely. A little small range for my taste, but most of those you can go back and pause and see how they worked out. So it was notable that they moved in such a. Then we have Love, which was another airline from day 2, and that was kind of choppy as well today, so I didn't really touch it or I had any comments on that. We're going to close the video with just talking about the SPY and QQQ sell-off. So again, you saw my morning guidance on the short side, but then you see that at 259, I told everyone that SPY is breaking into the close. Watch your longs, means be careful if QQQ breaks down, and that was at 259, and right after a few minutes we dropped, boom. So that's the beauty, and this trend line helped me with this warning to the community, and a lot of them managed their long trades, exited long trades. I personally wasn't looking for shorting it, but my plan was it's breaking down, so just be careful. And you see people shorted it, it worked out quickly. The loaders would have gone crazy in that fade. Actually they did, and one of the SPX just went 100%. Yeah, 5150 went 100% in very quickly. So so that was SPY QQQ end of the day, morning short, and in between the day it was just a chop. So anyways guys, that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. If you want to come trade with us, trade all the ideas or share your ideas, join the community. Do not come for alerts, come for education. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.